All right, hello guys, how's it going? Happy 2022. We are finally here, or I'm not. I'm actually on December 31st, 2021. But you guys are in the future, and you guys are a year ahead of me. So I hope things are going good in 2022 compared to 2021. You guys know I do not. I don't know. Okay, let's get straight. Let's go ahead and roll the intro, and then we'll talk about a few other things. I just realized I didn't tell you guys what today's video was about. It's weird, okay? It's 2022. I promise this is not how this year is going to go. It's just been weird in general. We're talking about a big upcoming pattern change because there is multiple reasons to believe that we will finally break out of this warm pattern. Not completely, we will go back and forth with warm, cold, but in general, we're not going to be stuck in the warmth for day after day after day after day for the entire month of January. January has a lot of reasons to feel optimistic. Let's go ahead and roll in with this temperature anomalies, and this is generally what we've been dealing with already, and this is from today. I'm making this video. This is yesterday to you guys. I need to change this color real quickly. What's going to be a good color that's not really featured on screen? I don't think anything's not featured on screen. Maybe black is going to look the best here. Yeah, that's going to give us the best vision of my drawings there. So we deal with very warm temperatures up until about the afternoon hours of the day you're watching this video, January 1st. And you can see the cutoff line of that warm and cold. We're dealing with severe weather throughout the day today from the time you're watching this video, tomorrow from the time I'm making this video. We can see that there's a lot of warmth there, and that cold is pushing eastward into the warmth, and that is what's going to allow for a pretty significant severe weather event to take place. But it's also going to allow for that cold air to move. As you can see, it is reaching further east than we've seen it reach, for almost the entire month of December. Southeast ridge is trying to hold on for dear life, but as I head on to the earlier model run that's going to give us more information, you can see that this does actually beat out that southeast ridge, and we have more of a pattern kind of like this, where the trough in the east, ridge in the west. Now, this is not going to be a permanent pattern. As you can see, we get a brief warm-up here, where we have something like this, with some warm air heading up the east coast, and also up the western United States as well, with that cold air diving into the middle here. We see this pattern take place actually pretty often, but usually it's moving, and in this case it is as well. We get a huge trough in the east here. This would be the biggest winter pattern, cold winter pattern we've seen all winter if it was to take place like this. And with this type of cold, first off, with these blues, we're talking about 1 to 9 degrees below normal. But we've been dealing with temperatures that are 10 to 20 degrees above normal. So this is going to feel like a 30-degree swing in the cold direction. But compared to what is typical for these blue regions, that's going to be about 10 degrees below normal. These greens here are going to be your 10 to 15 degrees below normal. We can see these here. I'll draw them out. So if you're north of this area, about 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Then we have another layer of like bluish purple, and that's going to be here. And that's where we're 15 to 25 degrees below normal. Then the magentas here are going to be your 25 to 30 degrees below normal. So we have a pretty significant cool down that this model expects in the longer range, and it really goes back and forth. As you can see, by the time we're reaching January 10th on this model, we have the trough here, a bit of a ridge heading up the eastern United States again, but we see this cold front is rushing in, and we're probably going to see this one take over. So instead of having a pure warm pattern in the eastern United States, it's going to go to more of a back and forth flip-flop pattern over the course of the next 10 days. And I actually want to move on and take a look at our European ensemble model to see what this one calls for, just because we do get a little bit of a more averaged outlook. And as you can see, later on in January, it just has this pattern persisting. This is going to be the 8th. It's pretty clear what this model is calling for, and these ensemble models are usually more accurate. See, that warm-up is pretty brief. That's from heads in on the 9th, and it only lasts till the 10th. And then we go back to more of a ridge in the west, trough in the east. So actually, so far, and then it averages out here. This is when, you can't really make out where the jet stream is, and it would probably look something like this. That's when you kind of lose confidence in the ensemble model. About right there is when there's a clear pattern here, and I would say it looks something like this. It's a little strange, but it's clear that this is a realistic pattern. But we lose a little confidence after that. So through the 10th, things are looking pretty optimistic. Not gonna lie here, guys. So what we're gonna do is take a look at some teleconnections here. Now here is our teleconnections, and this is our PNA, or Pacific North American Oscillation. And I'm gonna explain this. I know I explain this every time, but that's our neutral line. Pay attention to that one. In its negative phase, which is below the neutral line here, this is according to our European ensemble model, by the way, and we will take a look at the GFS ensemble model in a little bit. But according to this model, we are going to go positive later on, as you can see. But the negative phase, what this means is cold in the west, which therefore means warm in the east. There's not enough cold to go around for everywhere to be cold. Now, in its positive phase, this means warm in the west, which means cold in the east usually, because the cold isn't in the west, so it usually goes to the east if it's going to the United States. Sometimes we do see warmth from west coast to east coast. We don't expect that this time according to model guidance, as you guys saw before. But usually it's much more rare to see cold from California, Washington, and Oregon all the way to the eastern seaboard. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So our neutral line is there. As you can see, we're far negative. We're like -5 here. And I mean, this pattern really sets in the -1 or 2 range. But we're seeing a -5. So we're looking at twice as strong as what really is needed for a pattern to really set in. But starting today, we sharply trend towards the positive direction here. Tapers off. This is 3rd, 4th. We're already seeing a colder pattern in the east by this point, around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, that time frame. But you can see it tapers off. It goes more positive. But by the 10th, we actually cross over that neutral line and head into a positive PNA for the foreseeable future. And that starts, let's see, Saturday the 8th, and it lasts at least till about the 15th, according to this model here. So you can see at the bottom of the screen there. So this is the main driver in the pattern change. But also there's a thing called an MJO, and that has many different phases, and it's been stuck in a phase that is looking warm. I don't have a graphic to show you guys today, but it is going to be possibly or likely at this point moving into phases that encourage colder air also for the eastern United States alongside this PNA as well. Now let's take a look at what the GFS ensemble model has to say. And as you can see, we have this same look. Let's see, neutral line there. Well, it's a little below it. Neutral line about there. Again, head sharply positive, and this actually goes above the neutral line around the 8th, and it stays that way until at least the 16th here as well. Let's follow that. It does go back. It is very neutral, but it is above that neutral line technically, very slightly. Which is a huge improvement from this -5 number down there. That is a massive, massive difference. Because anything below this, anything below about -2, I would say, doesn't even allow for much cold to enter into the east, and that's where we've been stuck. If we were to go back here, we've been stuck in this far negative PNA. But anything above -2, I would say, allows for cold air in the east, and then anything above that 0 line. So anything up here in general, it's going to be more cold in the east than warm, typically. That's just how it usually works. So again, cold in the east, warm in the east, kind of 50-50 in this region. Well, I would say it's a little more warm than cold, but there is some cold oftentimes. This allows for cold in the east from time to time. Anyway. For today's confidence tab, we are at a 4 out of 6 again, just because that's just a safe place to be. I have the confidence tab mostly for videos that are not like this one, so that's just how it is. No comment of the day today, just because I'm pre-making this video. I'm making this video before yesterday's video from the time you're watching it is even out, actually, matter of fact. So for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Lear the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kudalesa, Catbite, Charles Thinnett, Cindy Klein, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Colisi also. I would also like to thank our channel members here, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.